3:42 p.m. in the South China Sea, the radar operator on the USS John Finn spots a new contact. Two warships have shown up at the edge of the screen, both traveling quickly. The tracker focuses in and identifies the shapes. Chinese Type 05-2D guided missile destroyers. These are not simple patrol vessels. They are frontline fighting ships equipped with advanced phased array radars and long-range anti-ship missiles. The USS John Finn is conducting routine freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea. Peaceful waters, clear weather. Nothing out of the ordinary until this moment. A voice on the bridge interrupts the quiet. Contact. Two vessels bearing 138, heading toward us. Speed 40 knots. 40 knots is not normal. That is chase speed. The first officer walks toward the windows and lifts binoculars. The wakes trailing the Chinese vessels are long and white. The ships appear to be slicing the ocean in two. The captain walks onto the bridge. He does not speak immediately. He observes. The room is silent except for the ship's engines and the quiet beeps from radar equipment. Another update arrives from the Combat Information Center. CPA projected less than 2 nautical miles. Both vessels are on an intersecting course. CPA means closest point of approach. Anything under 2 miles between warships is viewed as a challenge. The captain replies, "Maintain course, maintain speed, log all data." The two Chinese destroyers keep closing the gap. Their hull numbers become visible, one on each side of John Finn's front. They are now near enough to confirm the class type 052D. Luoyang 3 each carries vertical launch cells, anti-ship missiles, and modern radar systems. In the Combat Information Center, the SLQ-32 electronic warfare system begins collecting signatures. Every radar pulse the Chinese ships send out is studied and saved. This is not just a close meeting, but an intelligence collection. Another officer calls out, "New behavior starboard vessel has changed radar mode. Active surface track." Surface track means the ship is now targeting the USS John Finn with radar. The captain remains composed. Log it. Continue. The Chinese destroyers adjust positions. Rather than coming together, they move to a parallel formation on both sides of the American ship. From one perspective, this looks like formation sailing at high speed. The US Navy interprets something different. Thank you for giving us perfect flank angle data. Type 346A array confirmed. The USS John Finn has just gathered valuable signal intelligence without launching a single weapon. The captain orders the launch of an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter. The Seahawk takes off and turns toward the Chinese ships. The crew turns on the FLIR targeting camera. They zoom in on vertical launch cells and radar arrays. The Chinese destroyers finally respond. One ship aims a targeting laser at the helicopter. The crew does not retreat. Instead, the FLIR camera locks onto the laser source. Laser source identified, marking coordinates. The helicopter has successfully tagged the ship and revealed its optical tracking location. Back on the bridge, sailors hear a radio message burst through the VHF channel, spoken in Mandarin. Unidentified American warship. You are in Chinese territorial waters. Leave immediately. The bridge response is brief. This is a United States naval vessel operating in accordance with international law. We will continue our operations. No loud voice, no emotion, just procedure. The Chinese ships do not withdraw. They tighten formation once more. Distance shrinks. Tension increases. For the next 30 minutes, both sides move without speaking, waiting for one small error. This is the dangerous element of modern naval encounters. No missiles, no gunfire, just pressure. Every sailor understands that miscommunication can transform a close pass into an international incident. The Combat Information Center announces an update. Chinese vessels reducing speed, breaking formation. The wakes flatten, the hulls slow down. They turn away, one at a time. A young sailor whispers, almost to himself, "They blinked." The captain does not react. He only says, "Maintain course." Log final data. Secure from general quarters. The ocean feels wider again. On the chart table, the plotted movement shows a clear picture. Chinese warships attempted a close intercept. The United States Navy continued without changing course. In other words, freedom of navigation stands. International waters remain international waters. Later, when the log is examined, analysts will notice something larger than a close encounter. They will see a pattern that is happening more frequently. Nations are pushing limits, testing reactions, measuring each other. A sailor asks quietly, "Do you think this is how the next encounter starts?" No one answers. They all understand the real truth. In the modern world, war is not started by missiles. War begins when someone decides they cannot afford to back down. The USS John Finn sails forward, steady and purposeful. The ocean behind it churns white. Ahead, only open water and horizon. The encounter is finished, but the message stays. What occurred here is not just a close naval encounter. It is a clear example of strategic signaling at sea. China pushed in quickly, silently, and aggressively, attempting to create tension and force the United States into reacting. This was not about navigation. It was about control. When a navy moves toward another ship at high speed without communication, that is not coincidence. That is pressure. The maneuver could be interpreted by China as a display of presence. By closing distance without radio calls or warnings, they were testing how far they could stretch professionalism without crossing the line into open confrontation. Speed, silence, and proximity were the common elements they held onto. Instead of launching weapons, they used uncertainty as leverage. But the US destroyer responded with something far more powerful than aggression. They responded with discipline. They held course. They did not react with emotion, did not turn, did not panic. They demonstrated the power of confidence. When a ship remains steady under pressure, that communicates something loud and clear to the other side. We don't need to prove anything. That is real power. Anyone can speed toward a confrontation. Not everyone can stay calm when the other side attempts to provoke them. In my opinion, the US won without launching a single shot, not by force, but by control. The situation intensified as the Chinese vessels maintained close distance. The United States ended it. No threats, no panic, just presence. When your opponent tries to provoke you and you remain unshaken, you control the situation. This encounter represents more than one afternoon in the South China Sea. It represents a broader strategy being used by multiple nations in contested waters worldwide. Close naval encounters like this are becoming more common. Ships approach each other at high speed, test boundaries, measure reactions, and withdraw, all without firing weapons. This is the new form of naval confrontation. It is not about destroying the enemy. It is about demonstrating resolve, gathering intelligence, and asserting territorial claims without triggering open warfare. The United States conducts freedom of navigation operations to maintain the principle that international waters are open to all nations. China views these operations as provocations and responds with shows of force. Both sides operate under strict rules of engagement designed to prevent accidents from becoming incidents and incidents from becoming conflicts, but the risk remains. In these close encounters, one miscalculation, one equipment failure, one nervous officer making the wrong decision. Any of these could spark a crisis that neither side wants, but both would feel compelled to respond to. That is why discipline matters. That is why staying calm under pressure is not just good tactics. It is a strategic necessity. The crew of the USS John Finn demonstrated that discipline. They remained professional, collected intelligence, followed procedures, and completed their mission without escalation. They showed that strength is not always about firepower. Sometimes strength is about restraint. The encounter between the USS John Finn and two Chinese destroyers in the South China Sea was brief but significant. No shots were fired, no one was injured, no ships were damaged. but a message was sent and received. China demonstrated its willingness to challenge U.S. naval operations in waters it considers strategically important. The United States demonstrated its commitment to freedom of navigation and its ability to remain calm under pressure. Both sides gathered valuable intelligence and tested the other's resolve. Both sides walked away without escalation. This is what modern naval competition looks like. It is quiet, professional, and dangerous, all at the same time. The sailors on both ships understood what was happening. They were not just sailors that day. They were representatives of their nations, engaged in a contest of wills that could have consequences far beyond that single encounter, and they performed their duties with professionalism, discipline, and restraint. That is how conflicts are avoided, not through weakness, but through strength combined with self-control. The USS John Finn sailed on. The mission continued. The waters remained international, and the world remained at peace for another day. If you stand with the men and women who hold the line at sea, smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this mission report, because the ocean is vast, but no threat is too fast for those who are ready.